All right, folks. Today we're talking about the Benelli Supernova. I don't do reviews. I do overviews. I'm not going to get into the weeds on anything. Anything I review is something I actually own. I'm not getting paid at all for any of this. There's a lot of idiots out there who will push anything just because it's being sold by a company that they like. There's a ton of garbage out there. Stay away from it. I've been there. I've bought shit. I've lived to regret it. I've sold the shit just to get away from it. If you want a 12 gauge or a 20 gauge for that matter, and you're looking for a pump shotgun, in my opinion, the Benelli Supernova, or the Nova if you're going 20 gauge, is the one to beat. It's the benchmark. While I love Browning, and I've got a owner for John Browning, he's my spirit animal. Those BPS shotguns are pretty. The Supernova is a better shotgun. And I'll get into why. I wrote down a few reasons here, but I'm thinking of more as I'm speaking here. So, real quick, let's get into it. Number one reason why the Benelli Nova / Supernova is the best pump shotgun you can pretty much own for the money. Chrome lined bore. Number one, chrome lined bore. The Italian shotguns have it, the American shotguns don't. It's unfortunate, but that's the truth. For the most part, I know there's exceptions to everything, but the Benelli Nova Supernova has a chrome lined bore. Makes cleaning much easier. I mean, way, way easier. I don't use a brush in these bores. I just push them with some Ballistol, let them sit and wipe them out, and it comes out like goo. It's super easy. That's a huge plus. It's corrosion resistant. You don't have to worry about it. These shotguns are built like a tank. I mean, you can throw them. People have and do. Take them duck hunting, get them wet, drop them in the lake, drop them in the mud, take them out, shake them off a little bit, and they're fine. They never clean them again, and they don't rust because they're effing awesome. Anyhow, the chrome line board has a little bit to do with that, but it's a positive thing all around, no matter how you look at it. Number two, standard 3.5-inch chamber. I don't like shooting that heavy crap. I don't have a use for it. I don't duck or goose hunt, so I don't really care to shoot the 3.5-inch stuff. But any 12 gauge shells you find laying around, the Supernova and Nova will fire and chamber and cycle just fine. That can't be said for every single shotgun out there. This one just has it. If you've got a Benelli Supernova or a Nova, you can shoot whatever's laying around. Number three, stock fit. On the Supernova, mine has shims in because I shoot lefty because I'm an idiot like that. There are shims right here. You can adjust the cast and the drop to fit your body better. So when you're firing it, the recoil feels better. And that's awesome. You're not going to get that with an off-the-shelf 870 or a Mossberg or something. Okay? Reliability. This thing has a rotating bolt in it, not the typical ram it home and the thing lifts up bolt like most of the domestic shotguns have. The head of the bolt in here actually rotates and locks into the barrel. There's channels cut into the barrel for that to happen. It's a superior lockup, in my opinion. It's closer to what a bolt action lockup is. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bolt action. It's not tight like an AR-15. It doesn't need to be, but it's tighter. It's a more positive lockup, in my opinion, than any other pump action shotgun on the market. In my opinion. Track record. These Benelli Novas and Supernovas have no track record of failure. There's nothing in their history that says, oh, they had a bad year here or there. Nope. They've been fucking awesome since day one, since they first came out. Yeah, they're a little bit ugly. There's a lot of plastic on them. That plastic keeps the corrosion away. It keeps it strong, keeps it a little bit light. They're not super light. They're pretty hardcore shotguns. But if you're going to have a pump shotgun, you'll appreciate having that when you get it caught up in a barbed wire fence and you don't scratch through the aluminum receiver. It's pretty badass. The Supernovas have the recoil reducing stock on them, which is awesome. This is nice soft rubber. This is soft rubber up here where your cheek actually sits is nice soft rubber. It does make a substantial difference. So there's another plus. There's another one. I can't remember what I was going to say though. Downsides. The price. They cost a little more than your typical POS 870 or Winchester 13 whatever or SX whatever they're putting out now, or Mossberg 500 series whatever, fill in the blank. They're going to cost a little more. But in the world of shotguns, especially shotguns are a delicate sport, you know? And I don't mean that like sissies are running around buying shotguns. I mean, it's a delicate market where when you step up a little bit in price, you're going to get a substantially better product. So you get what you pay for. If you're going to pay the money for a Benelli Supernova, you're getting a superior piece of equipment compared to your standard off-the-shelf Remington 870. And I've got 870. I've got a couple of them right now, actually. And this is a better shotgun. It just is. So you get what you pay for. Don't, if you need a shotgun, and I've been there, don't go to the gun store or gun show and buy the cheapest piece of shit you can get your hands on. It might go bang, but it's not going to be something that you're going to hand down to your kids. Not that that's everything. Heirloom, you know, firearms. That doesn't mean much. But when you have a good one, and you've got one that Dad took hunting with his kids the entire time he was alive, and it never failed him, and he took down hundreds of birds out of the sky, and it was a thing of beauty, that's going to leave a lasting impression on your children. That's going to be passed on. Just the legend of it will be passed on for generations. So don't buy crap. It's easy to spend $200 on a 12 gauge just because you need a 12 gauge. But you can spend $4, you know, save up just a little bit longer and get a real piece of equipment that really does a good job and really kicks ass. So don't skimp. And we're not talking about bank breaking amounts of money here. We're talking $500 for a new one. You know, $400, $350 for a used one. So I very highly recommend the Benelli. I've heard stories of these things being unreliable when you're pumping them, that they don't quite engage the lugs. And some idiot on YouTube said that if the gap exists right here between the bolt body, the carrier essentially, and the bolt head itself, if you don't pump it hard enough, there's a gap there. Or if you pull back on it right now, let's see if I can do it with one hand. If you push back on the fore end and you create a gap here that it won't fire, well, that's bullshit. I've tested the crap out of it. I can't make it happen with this one. If you work the action like you're supposed to, hard back, hard forward, all the way, you know, making the strokes, you're not going to have any issues. People run into issues with 12 gauge, not 12 gauges, but any pump shotgun when they sissy stroke them. They short stroke them, they don't do it right. And that's going to be an issue with any 12 gauge pump that you have. It's not specific to this or that. It's just not running a 12 gauge pump properly, or a pump shotgun properly. That's about it. Not sure what else to say about it. It's as far as the 12 gauge or 20 gauge pump market goes, I think this is the benchmark. There are prettier ones. You know, Browning BPS is a much prettier shotgun. And it carries that lovely Browning name to it, which I've got an owner for. But this is where it's at as far as practicality, uber reliability, and anything you can throw at it is going to take. That's where this goes. I'd rather take this into the woods and beat it around and muck through some shit with my Benelli than I would with a nice, shiny, pretty wood-stocked, high-gloss Browning BPS. I mean, there's a time and place for those, but it's not in the kind of hunting and shit I do. So your mileage might vary. To each their own. But if you want a good one, look no further. That's it. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching.